Tuesday, June 6th. I'm all packed. I'm getting ready to my trip to Virginia. I have a very special event we're doing tomorrow that no one even knows about yet. But I'm going to get started with the news, and maybe I'll give it some hints as to what I'm doing tomorrow in Virginia. First news story we need to talk about today is this one. A woman was arrested in Florida trying to bribe her former love interest with a pair of iPod earphone buds things. iPhone, what are they called? I don't know what they're called. iPods. She's trying to bribe him to commit an abortion on his fiance. This story is crazy. This woman's 21 years old, and she bought abortion pills because now you can buy abortion pills anywhere because the Biden administration has relaxed all the rules, because we should never second guess why a woman or why anyone, even a sex predator, may want chemical abortion pills that could end the life of a human being. So this woman, because of Biden's lax rules, she gets chemical abortion pills online. Maybe there's something wrong with that. Maybe the pro-life movement's been saying this forever. She then starts messaging him, this guy that she was her former love interest, asking him to kill the victim's unborn baby and offered a pair of AirPods in exchange for the deed. She previously had a romantic relationship with the father of the baby, the victim's former fiance, and she was Snapchatting him. And when the authorities actually show up at her house, because the father turned her in for trying to kill his unborn baby with chemical abortion drugs that she got online, because that's legal in the United States, and the Biden administration has been saying it's legal to illegally procure chemical abortion pills, even if you don't even have to prove that you're pregnant, that you're not experiencing life-threatening ectopic pregnancy. You don't even have to prove that you're not a rapist or someone who wants to murder a baby, because you're jealous of your former love interest, current love interest, which is what's happened here. This woman just flat out admitted it. This is the second case in April that came forward with a story like this. And this is a result of this wild, wild west. Anyone can get chemical abortion pills in our country. It's an unbelievable story. And sadly, we're going to hear more stories like this develop because of what the Biden administration has done. Before I get into the election stuff, today is D-Day. For you folks who don't follow history, this is an important day. This is the day that you can argue that we knew we were going to win World War II, defeat Nazism, defeat the socialists, defeat genocide. So I posted a cute picture here of my son. For the past 2 years, we've gone to the world's largest D-Day reenactment in Lake Erie, even meeting veterans, and it's such an amazing moment to meet the heroes of our generation, and hopefully we can, in pro-life movement, inspire this generation to be the next generation of heroes. All right, let's get to the crazy now. I want to show you a video of what happened when presidential contender, GOP presidential contender, Nikki Haley did a live CNN town hall with Jake Tapper. And what was said about abortion. Pay attention to what Nikki Haley said about abortion, and then also pay attention to some things that Jake Tapper said, which are kind of crazy.
So do you have an opinion though? If a 6-week ban theoretically came to your desk, would you sign it?
But why? I will answer that when you ask Kamala and Biden if they would agree to 37 weeks.
This is an interesting tactic. I understand what she's doing here of saying, the Democrats need to be asked if they would support any restrictive measures of abortion. Absolutely. I don't know if I would have answered it by saying I won't answer the question, because obviously the answer to the question, Nikki Haley, is yes, I will sign. If a 6-week heartbeat prevention, abortion prevention gets to my desk, I will sign. That is the correct answer.
9 weeks. Then I'll answer your question. No one asked them that. No one asked them how late they're willing to go.
I'm a big believer in people in the media correcting themselves when they err. And I erred earlier. I had described the Biden-Harris position as basically no restrictions. And that might be the Harris position, but actually President Biden, last fall was asked would he support any restrictions. His answer was that he did, and his basic position, President Biden's, is to codify Roe v. Wade, which would mean abortion legal until the first 20 weeks of pregnancy.
This is incorrect. Just so everyone knows, this is an incorrect statement. So someone who said he believes in correcting the facts, Jake Tapper needs to publicly correct the facts. That is not what Roe versus Wade. I mean, we had Roe versus Wade for 49 years. How do people still not understand it? You're either being just purposely obtuse about it or purposely deceptive. Roe versus Wade, its companion case that were handed down on the same day, Roe versus Wade and Doe versus Bolton, they were handed down on the same exact day, January 22nd, 1973. Roe permitted abortions in the first trimester. The court made up this trimester framework, the first 3 months. And then the companion case, Doe versus Bolton, was based off a case in Tennessee. Once again, neither woman, either Roe nor Doe, had an abortion. The Doe case said abortion can be permitted throughout pregnancy for reasons of a woman's health, including her emotional health, not the life of a mother, but her health. So a woman can say, I'm distraught, I don't want to have this baby, it's going to make me sad, therefore an abortion is legal. These two decisions came down together. They're called companion cases. That allowed states throughout the country that wanted to permit abortion up until the moment of birth. That is why you still have doctors like William Hearn in Boulder, Colorado, who openly admits and just admitted to this Atlantic profile that he's committing abortions into the 36th week. That's the 9th month. Okay? So if President Biden has said he wants to codify Roe, that would mean only first 3 months. Now, most people don't know that. Most people think Roe was whenever in pregnancy. The Women's Health Empowerment Act is really the Women's Health Endangerment Act, which the Democrats keep pushing, says that they're just going to codify Roe. It actually is more extreme than that. President Biden says he supports that and wants to sign it. That would make abortion legal throughout any moment in pregnancy, all 9 months, and taxpayer funded. So correct those facts, Jay, because this is just wrong.
Nikki Haley also last night refused to answer a question about whether she would sign a bill for a 6-week abortion ban. Could you give us the sort of correct position of the administration in terms of what kind, if any, kinds of restrictions on abortion the administration supports?
So I didn't watch this town hall, so can't really speak to
Watch what she does here.
What she said. What I can speak to, what the president has said, which is that he will continue to call on Congress to restore Roe v. Wade. And so if you know the particulars of Roe v. Wade, you see what the president stands. So I'll just leave it there for now.
What does that mean? What does that mean, KJP? Does that mean, as we've all been led and as President Biden has said over and over again, that he supports abortion for any reason? Does that mean he supports abortion up until the moment of birth, which is what we've been saying? Or does that mean somehow he's changed his mind on abortion and actually only supports abortion in the first trimester, which is still evil and wrong? Has he changed his mind? Because I'm pretty sure Planned Parenthood, before they drop like $100 million in the 2024 election trying to reelect him, is going to want to know. But do you notice how she actually never says position? Well, if you know the particulars of Roe versus Wade, you know his position. The fact is, and the White House knows this, majority of Americans still, even though Roe is now thrown onto the ash heap of history, do not know what Roe versus Wade was, and they're purposely using that to confuse the American public. Purposely confusing, because they're hoping that people who are kind of moderate on the issue, don't like abortion, but don't want to really talk about, will think, oh, well, that just means he likes some abortion. And then they're also using it as a dog whistle to the left of, don't worry, he supports abortion up until the moment of birth. So he won't actually say. So did he change his mind on abortion? Does suddenly President, Jake Tapper basically said that the president's position on abortion is that of, Senator Scott, which sadly Senator Tim Scott, who's Republicans always says pro-life, said he will only sign a 20-week bill, a law banning abortions at 20 weeks. That would be Tim Scott's position. Is the president suddenly in line with Senator Tim Scott? I highly doubt it. Tim Scott needs to have a better position on abortion. Let's be clear about that. But what's going on here? All right, I'll stop because I can go on because you read my tweets from this morning. I was not happy. All right. Okay, now for the insane. I'm going to wrap this up with the insane. I've taken 2 melatonins. I got to get to bed because I have to get up at 2:30 in the morning. But I'm going to wrap it up with the insane. Hopefully I don't think about this in my dreams tonight. So the PETA president, Ingrid Newkirk, has a will, apparently, I doubt this is even possible, that says this is how she wants her body to be divvied up after she dies. She wants her leg to be turned into a stand for umbrellas. She wants part of her flesh cut out and fried with onions for a human barbecue. She wants some of her intestines used to make sausage casings, right? Because PETA's against using any part of an animal for, food or materials. This isn't legal. Why is this not legal? Because we have very strict laws in America, Ingrid, about how you can dispose of human body parts, even deceased body parts. You have to drill 7 feet down, has to be in a bedrock. If you go get your arm amputated, you can't just take your arm home and say you're going to bury it behind the tree in the backyard. You can't do that. The hospital can't even legally do that. Okay. If you miscarry your child and you miscarry a child in the hospital, you can't just take your child home to bury your child in your backyard. You can't do that, because we know putting human beings and body parts into our soil will affect wastewater, right? Because when water comes down from the clouds, goes into the soil, and it works its way to our streams and lakes and rivers and oceans, right? However, Ingrid, if you were a preborn fetus, all of your death wishes could have come true, because that's what's happening to preborn human beings every single day in our country. University of Pittsburgh, University of Washington are openly dissecting children, some in Pittsburgh, while their hearts are still beating for research. They don't matter because they were unborn. They haven't been born yet. Their hearts are beating and they can feel pain, but our government actually has been funding this research. In places like Baltimore and Oregon, we know their dead bodies are being burned for energy, for clean, renewable energy to heat our homes. In chemical abortions, which there's been more than 5 million chemical abortions since 2000. In chemical abortions, we know the abortions are just telling women just to flush down their babies, their placental tissue, their blood that's chemically tainted with 3 active metabolites through chemical abortion pills. They're told to actually flush their babies and chemically tainted blood and tissue down their toilet or down their drain that will then enter our wastewater system and harm our animals and our aquatic life. So Ingrid, if you were a preborn baby, we could make all of these wishes come true. Sadly, not really sadly, I'm glad you're born human, but because you're a born human, those things actually aren't possible. So this is a big publicity stunt. Speaking of publicity, Ingrid, I hope you're ready for a visit tomorrow. Our pro-life generation, maybe myself, will be there at PETA. I'm really excited to urge you and your fellow animal rights activists to join us in calling for the FDA, the Biden administration, to stop chemical abortion pills, the dissemination of chemical abortion pills, which we know are polluting our wastewater systems in our country, harming aquatic and animal life, not also to mention human reproductive system. So hopefully I'll see you tomorrow, Ingrid. I shouldn't have said anymore. All right, I gotta go, guys. Good night. Hopefully you enjoyed the Pro Life Gen news today in my PJs from my parents' kitchen here in West Virginia. And I'll be back with you tomorrow from somewhere in Virginia. Bye.